online at York College. We're also simulcasting in a Google Plus Hangout because we're going to be sharing some YouTube videos while we talk about web video, in particular Daniel's motion graphics course he's teaching here at York College, which we're going to use as a bit of an introduction to video for the DS106 course. So if you're not able to listen in or join the Hangout, we're going to post a video of this on YouTube and then probably archive the audio as well. So Daniel, thanks for joining us, and tell us what you're doing this semester with your students and how they're rocking it with their projects.
Yeah, so I guess, you know, in the same vein as kind of picking and choosing some of the best things about DS106.
Oh wait, you know what? I'm sorry. We have to have you introduce your background.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So my name is Daniel Phelps. My background before I came to York College was as a shooter editor for television, specifically nonfiction, live sports, magazine shows, just kind of like a jack of all trades, but mainly in post-production. So about 5 years ago, almost, yeah, 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, I was happily accepted a job here at York College running their television studio, and since then have become an adjunct lecturer and another kind of jack of all trades here at the college. I'm currently finishing my first feature-length, full-form documentary that's a project of my own rather than a project of somebody else's. And I'm very proud of it, and I'll give it a plug. You can go to thedominoeffectmovie.com, and you will be able to see the trailer. And we did a crowdfunding Kickstarter, just like everyone else in the world nowadays. But we were able to raise some money, and we're actually able to finish this film. And it's also probably good to know that. You know, I ended up going back to school so I can teach a little, or actually a lot more. So this documentary is part of an integrated media arts program at Hunter College. So, so that's where I am now. You know, at this point, I teach 3 or 4 different classes at York College. I teach the television studio production course, the webcasting course, the Intro to Motion Graphics course, and hopefully next semester the documentary production course, or Intro to Documentary Production course. But this semester we are running our Intro to Motion Graphics course, otherwise known as the After Effects course, here with our students, unfortunately. So you know, taking a look at some of the best things about DS106 and working with Michael Branson Smith, you know, this course was designed 2 years ago. I redesigned it 2 years ago, and have subsequently redesigned it to kind of to take some of the spirit, you know, the spirit of DS106 and the spirit of you know, mashing up media that's already created to create rubrics and constraints for the students. So with the CT345 course, or the Intro to Motion Graphics course, the very first day I sat down with them and said, okay, what projects are you guys working on? What are you going to work on in the next year or so? What do you want to learn? What do you need to learn? And we mapped out the semester, the students and I, and then I built the course around the tools that they needed to learn to accomplish their goals, whether that be in their final project, other coursework, personal passion projects, and I created a 17-week structure based on these things that they wanted to learn. So, which was really, really fun. And honestly, it wasn't too far away from the course that was taught last year, but we added some things like animation, some practical video tools like image stabilization and color correcting and things like this. So some things that I think that they could actually use in the real world. And I guess it's good to mention that this this Intro to Motion Graphics course is I think it's a, and correct me if I'm wrong, Michael. It's an elective course for our digital video concentration for communications technology, right? Is it? I'm trying to remember if it's a required course.
Yeah, for the video people, they have to do it. But
yeah.
I think what's funny is we're encouraging the graphics people to do it. But yeah, I think what was so awesome is how you decided to ask your students what they wanted to do at the start of the semester and built some assignments around that, which is very much like the DS106, where you can submit assignments and ask them what to, and they can invite the community to do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you really had, it sounds like an amazing breakthrough with the students with the most recent assignment. Why don't you tell us about that and share some examples?
Yeah.
Where it came from.
Yeah. So, I kind of took this idea of reappropriation. One of the challenges that I have in some of the courses, specifically one of the challenges that I've had in this motion graphics course is working with the students and trying to understand style, personal style. I did kind of taking more of an art school approach to a digital tools class, where I really don't want to teach.
Why don't you put that in perspective? Why is that a divergence?
Okay, so the students, call this class the After Effects class, and I don't really think that I don't think that it should be an After Effects class. I don't think that we should be teaching students, this tool After Effects, like Microsoft Word or like Final Cut Pro or any of these other programs. I don't want to teach that tool. I want to teach how to use that tool in a creative way, how to use that tool in a way that adds to their personal style and add to kind of their portfolio in a way that shows who they are as a creator of media, rather than, okay, I just know how to use this tool to create media. Like, the big deal, if you want to learn how to use After Effects, of course, Google it. That's kind of the mantra with the DS106 group. But so I took away the book, I took away some of the theory, and wanted to do more practical knowledge. Where I actually don't think that the tools that YouTube offers to learn After Effects are really up to par. So we kind of next semester we're going to do this a little bit more, but we teamed up with lynda.com, and it's much cheaper than a book, and you get high quality video tutorials. And it's safe to say that our students are very visually oriented, and they're visual learners. So I have only opened After Effects in the course. I mean, we're 2 weeks after midterms. I've maybe opened it 5 times, and it really does show in their projects. And I've gotten, not only the quality of the projects gone through the roof, because now I can concentrate on I can concentrate on this idea of, okay, every class we look at what they've done, whether it's a rough cut or an animatic or a storyboard, but we get to look at it and give feedback and make it better, rather than look at it and say, okay, this is how you use the pincushion tool, and this is the starch tool, and this is how you image stabilize. It's not I always hated that part of teaching. Like, you just feel like a button pusher. And I hated that part of editing when I was a professional editor. Well, I am still a professional editor, but when I was doing it, 16 hours a day, I hated the feeling of, okay, somebody behind me is just using me as a button pusher when I have all these creative things that I have in my head. So I kind of took this client, this client creative approach, where I'm the client as a professor. I'm the client for the students. And I want them to use their creativity and tell me what I want. So that's the approach we took. So it's all project based. The course is. I have threatened them with quizzes on the tools, but monitoring their projects week by week. They know the tools. They don't mind watching the tutorials, and I can just tell who's doing the work and who's not based on the quality. The quality of the tutorials or the quality of the work that they're doing. So, it's been a revelation. We create things and we learn how to fix things. This idea of, okay, you know, by simply saying, okay, imagine something. Imagine what you want something to look like, given these boundaries that I've given you. Get it down on paper. Create. You know, let's start from the very beginning. Let's do lots of pre-production. Let's create a very simple storyboard, and then from there we'll scan that storyboard into After Effects, and we'll create an animatic. And then from the animatic, you overlay your media. You overlay the stuff that you're creating, or pulling from different media sources like magazines and newspapers, and throw it on top. And just that process, we work out all these bugs that first-year students traditionally make. You know, this is an intro course, so we're getting rid of those kind of. I feel like we're really getting rid of those very simple things that make art projects look amateur, just by doing a lot more pre-production work. So can I talk about this project now? Sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent, but I mean, it's really exciting because the projects that we're starting to get now aren't introduction projects. They're not intro to motion graphics projects. Some of these projects are definitely, you know, second year projects that I could see that are just really amazing, and a lot of creativity has gone into them. So I'm going to send you I just sent the midterm guidelines link out. If you want to look at what this project is really about, I just sent that out to you, Michael, on the chat. And kind of, you know, understanding what I wanted this project to be. The very first project that we did in the class was a Ken Burns, a project based on the style of Ken Burns. And if you're not familiar with this Ken Burns effect, just open up iPhoto or iMovie and click the Ken Burns button. And what it is it takes still images and it puts motion to them to make them feel like video and take advantage of, you know, the canvas of video by moving pictures around. We kind of took that a step further to more of a 2010 version of the Ken Burns effect by splitting the pictures up into certain layers and really making the photographs look like video. And this is used a lot in documentary filmmaking by adding a lot of pizzazz to photos. And it's just another level of production that I really think that they would use on a day-to-day basis in their, not only in the real world, but on their productions on their own. So that's actually on the website. You can take a look at those. Maybe I'll show.
Well, share some of the videos.
Yeah. So I'll share. I'll share.
I mean, you can do even the photo stuff too.
Yeah. So I'll go into project one, and I'll flip over to. I think one of the good ones that we had is Basketball Dreams. So I'll send you the link right now, and here we go. I'm gonna flip over to Google.
Oh yeah, the YouTube thing. This is kind of cool. I haven't done this before. I love this one.
So this is the Basketball Dreams. This was from, and I'll pause it. I'll pause it real quick. This is Basketball Dreams. So this is kind of taking just still images. I had the students literally take photographs of 5 still images, and the challenge is to make multiple shots out of 5 images, and to create something with 5 images that lasted over a minute. So here we go.
Is it buffering for you? I'm not seeing it yet.
Oh, it's playing on my end, but I'm not hearing it. Let me try it again. Let me send it back to it. Are you seeing it, Michael?
So this is like, it looks like someone's back of their house basketball court, right?
Yeah.
It's got this is for the radio people, with the hoop tacked to the brick wall and basically animating a character in front of that shooting in the context. And so how many different pictures is this?
This is only 5, but the idea is to split them up, to break them up and create, you know, within one picture you can do a close-up, you can do a wide shot. When you add motion and depth of field to a photograph, you're basically creating a virtual camera in a space that you create from scratch. So I don't know if the audio was supposed to come through, but one of the restraints of this was they were supposed to pick either do a spoken word piece, either pull it from the internet or speak it themselves, and use that as kind of motivation for the photos that they choose.
No, that one was amazing.
So that one was really cool. And there's a couple other ones, and I'll kind of, I'll share this.
Can you try something? Since you started to hang out, Alex Polaris is out there, and I tried to invite him. I don't know if it's because I didn't invite him. Can you try to invite him to the hangout?
Yeah, let me invite someone.
See if that works. See if that helps.
What's his name?
Just Alex space Polaris.
Okay.
Is his? You'll find him in G+ that way. Alex, we're working for you if you're listening on the radio.
Okay. Got him. Okay. He's been invited.
All right.
So I just sent just opened up the invite. Okay, so I just sent the category from the course. And it's probably good to mention, because we definitely have the group, but I run this course from my personal website, and I just created
figured that out.
Yeah, I just created another instance of WordPress, and I promised, I kind of look at this as a repository for the course and for student work. Yes, I would love to get feedback here, but I really don't get the traffic. We really try to get feedback on YouTube, and I try to get them to post the videos on places where it's going to get high traffic. So, if they do a video on like comic books and such, I try and get them to put it on the comic book websites or bulletin boards and stuff like that. So we started with this very simple project that was based on Ken Burns, which is, it's an established look, it's an established aesthetic. It's something that they can literally copy, but add their own media, and kind of working off of that, they learned a very simple set of tools to create this next project. This next project was kind of an animation project, but it's based off Terry Gilliam. And if you guys don't know who Terry Gilliam is, he did all the opening sequences and all the animations for Monty Python, and they're very classic animations. They are a lot of fun, and they're very neat. But what they do is these.
We should share one of those. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna grab it right now. I'm gonna grab one. What's really cool about them is not only the established aesthetic, but these were being done in the 60s, and they were mixed media. So Terry Gilliam essentially just went through magazines and newspapers and cut out figures and people and places. And I'll post a video. And really did some cool stuff. I'm sorry, my YouTube is loading. There's a great link on actually behind the scenes of how Terry Gilliam actually does this stuff, and it's just coming up on my.
Alex, we got you in finally.
I think my PC didn't work.
So you're blaming it on your computer, right? Well, Danny's about to show a video of Terry Gilliam.
Yeah, Terry
Gilliam
Gilliam
shows his students' interpretations of it, which is awesome.
Okay, so basically, I'll show a Terry Gilliam photo or video. It should be playing.
The radio people, this is you're watching two old school guy gymnasts dancing like they're on the Foley's, and it's all puppets, almost stick puppets.
So I'm gonna drop another one. Mike, can you hear the audio from the YouTube videos? Yeah, you can. Okay. I can't, but maybe that's because I have SoundCloud running.
You turn up the. I can hear it. You just turn up the volume in the player itself.
So this is a little bit better video. This is kind of an early video from Terry Gilliam, but as you can see, it uses, it's literally he uses different photos, found pictures rather than a found footage piece of media. These are found pictures, and he also creates his own media. So he creates his own characters and things like that. And it's stop motion animation, which is really great, but what's really cool about this is something the students can see in both the real world, where they can create storyboards based off the things that they cut out of magazines and newspapers, and then they can scan that in and create literal interpretations with motion and animation in After Effects. So this is the style of animation that we were going after. So the students had a basis to kind of copy and to understand. And through this understanding, new tools were introduced to help them create this style. So
it's a great style. It's so organic because it's like, every piece is coming from a space that's analog, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just visual images. There's an analog it comes from, and they use it digitally and put it into this mashup, which with the found audio as well, right?
Yeah. So, whereas Terry Gilliam does the audio on his own, I didn't want audio to be an issue. I don't want the students not caring about audio, but it was secondary. They just needed something to put underneath here. So,
it became a source of inspiration, didn't it, ultimately?
Yeah, ultimately. I mean, it depends. For some students, yes. For some, no. A lot of students really, really wanted to use these characters that they pulled out of, children's books or newspapers, but the challenge was to make these characters that they chose to fit the audio that they chose. And I asked them to go out and find a conversation within any movie, as long as it was about 30 seconds long. Find a conversation and then create the animation based on that conversation. So they looked for the piece of audio first, and then they went out and found the media. And the thing is, I didn't let them change. Otherwise, in the past, the students love to change. If they find that it's too hard to use a piece of audio or too hard to use a little piece of cutout graphic, that they will change it to make it easier. But that's kind of, I wasn't trying to be a jerk about it, but understanding this client creative relationship. A client's going to want X, and it's your job to either make the client, as a graphic artist, it's your job to either make the client believe that what you want is the way that they should go, which is hardly ever happens, but it's also your job to interpret what the client wants. So their job was to interpret what I was looking for. So I kind of gave them, or had them choose everything that they wanted to use, and kind of push them and kick them in the right direction on how to kind of.
So I know you only have like 9 minutes left because you have class. So I want you to show some of the students' work, which is really great. It's amazing, and there's two in particular that rock. Even though I like the zombie one as well.
Yeah.
And so DS106 radio people, there is some zombie animation.
Okay, so I'm going to show. Yeah, you want to look at the zombie one first?
Yeah, just because it's not. Yeah, well, because there's ones that are better in terms of the actual animation, but I like this one. Just because the notion of ghosts being afraid of zombies is pretty awesome.
Okay, here we go.
And why don't we do, what's this audio source for this one?
The audio source from this one is from Shaun of the Dead.
Right.
And in the scenes, if you guys have seen Shaun of the Dead, two main characters, and it's actually pretty good. So I'm gonna
let's speak for itself.
I'm gonna drop it in. Yeah, and what's great,
this YouTube sharing thing too. This is so cool. 32 plus.
Okay, so.
I just love the notion of ghosts being afraid of zombies. So for the radio people who that was Shaun of the Dead, two characters which the students had interpreted as two like ghosts floating around a cemetery, and they're going to be all freaked out if they run into zombies. Like ghosts, for some reason, I mean, it must be appropriate for some reason, should be freaked out by zombies.
Well, they kind of, you couldn't really tell. And that's one of the things that, in the feedback that we asked her to change. But the people were actually like religious fanatics. That was all from like a religious magazine, like a hardcore Christian magazine, which was really quite interesting.
But was from a Christian magazine?
The people that kind of popped up at the end, the people that were zombies, were taken out of like a Christian evangelical magazine. So and they all.
So you need to extend that moment somehow.
Yes. And the final product, they all have these little kind of, I never say these are final. It's like, okay, this is your final round of critique. Go on and fix it before you post it and say, this is it. This represents me. So it was really cool. What made that work was this idea of the camera movement and the quick shots and the quick cuts, which was great. And it actually emulated the real film, which was kind of neat. The second one is actually a piece of like more traditional. This fits more within the Terry Gilliam aspect of the project. The last one we looked at, she actually made a lot of those assets herself, which is really fun. But this one fits really well, and this one's from Punch Drunk Love with Adam Sandler and another character named Barry. And I think Barry is, I forget who he is, but he's a fairly famous actor. So we'll take a look at that one now.
I love this one. I actually love this one. That one just blew my mind when I saw it. The quality of that animation, I mean, I can't even describe it the way, but it just is incredible.
And
the amount of effort to build the space, the 3 spaces, there were 3 sets basically. There was the exterior, there was the waiting room, there's the little the dental chair, the actual space where they get a checkup.
mm-hmm.
And then the characters themselves were just amazing. And the fact that she was even animating the characters was she animating the characters in the waiting room in the background?
Yeah, the attention to detail was amazing. It really was.
Oh, it's just blows my mind.
And I love the transition from the train into the doctor's office because it's traditional. Like the main character stays, and it really takes advantage of the animation portion of this, where the character stays on screen and the background completely changes, and it really gives a good feeling of it, So yeah, that was definitely.
And for people that should know this, that I have an office across the hall from Daniel, and I was meeting with, I don't know if it was a student or something, but literally I hear Danny suddenly yells like, "Oh my God!" And he told me later on this was really solid. I mean, you can't help it. You get so excited by student work sometimes when it's so clear the students are so engaged and locked in and like wanting to make something.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell they're doing it for themselves.
Yeah.
For a grade or requirement, they're so locked in and they're doing it for themselves because they get so into it, and that's awesome.
Yeah, and one of the great things about they're really with the change in this course, they're really buying into it. They're really buying into it.
Clearly.
And and I'm really and I don't have to do these babysitting things that I've had to do in the past with little quizzes and making sure that they're keeping up with this and with that, But we do a fair amount of like this midterm project. A third of their grade was based off of self-evaluation from their peers, from the other people in the class, and one of the things that I asked them were we watched all of these and gave critique and feedback, and then they graded each other's work, and them knowing that they were going to grade each other's work and that a part of their grade was also going to be coming from the group, I think really changed the way they created their projects. They didn't just want to please me; they wanted to please everyone else that's in the class. And I'm really lucky that there's only 10 people in the course because it's this very small space. But it's been a revelation, and I feel like changing a lot of my classes at the very least to mimic what this class has done, if I can.
Self-direction.
Yeah, and
so we got one last one. We got you for a minute more, I think, right?
Yeah, one more minute. Let's
do what's his name?
The Super Mario one.
Yeah, that one's phenomenal.
Okay. So
you got to introduce the video, what the audio is from.
Yeah, so the audio is from the audio is actually from Scarface. So for those under 16 that are listening out there, there are some adult themes in this one, which is great. I mean, I'm more than happy to kind of introduce adult themes with adults. But this one's entitled Scarface Meets Mario Brothers.
Awesome. Cubana. Oh my God! I don't even think we have to talk about that.
So but this is a great.
To share that one out.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great project. I like this project because it fulfills all of the criteria that I wanted these projects to look like at the end. One, it was mapped out frame by frame very well. It used a great piece of audio. It reappropriated two things in pop culture to make something new, and you know, and at the same time, the students really learned a lot about the tools to create this. You know, from ripping audio off the internet or off of a DVD to, you know, how to scan things in, you know, how to, you know, scan ratios and sizes and to try and make it not pixelated. And there's all these other requirements for this too, where they handed me a master file that is production ready and high quality and ready to be broadcast. So, you know, they created an online version, a broadcast ready version, and yeah, it's one of the best classes I've had. And well, since last semester, I guess. So.
Well, thanks so much. I can't wait to share. You gotta rip this video and post it.
Yeah, no problem.
Danny's gonna be recording the session because it'll be much better than on video and radio.
Hopefully.
And I'm gonna share out all the links to. I just put the last one with Don and me actually been tweeting the links to the videos as we were watching them. Sorry, everybody, but thanks again. We haven't had many listeners on the radio, but we've had Alex not talking at all, which is fine. Alex, at least say hi. Alex?
Hi.
Thank you. He is alive.
Sorry, I liked the presentation very much. I didn't want to interrupt, and I felt like my technical issues were in the way. I decided to shut up, and I really enjoy it because I have the same students in my class, and it's awesome to sort of see their work.
Yeah. Yeah, this is really cool, this sharing videos. We got to do this. It'd be fun to do this with us, even through the sound classes. And
yeah.
You have to use an image to publish a sound project. But I dig this so much.
Yeah.
So.
All right, guys.
I gotta go, Danny.
Yeah, I do gotta go. I'm gonna stop the recording, Mike, and I'll give it to you tomorrow.
All right. Good night, everybody. Good night, Alex.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
Good night, DS106 Radio.